Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're interested in vocal technique, pick up my ebook called Becoming a Natural Singer, or if you want one-on-one help, book a lesson through my website or drop me an email, links in the description. So a few people asked about an update in regards to my health, and I did a video a couple of weeks back about my diet, fixing my silent reflux, and I just wanted to go into a little bit more detail about what are the changes I've experienced and what are the things I've noticed as this has started to get better. So firstly, I'm still feeling some undulation in my voice. I'm still feeling that I go through 4, 5, 6 days of good, and then it kind of tapers off for a few days and then it comes back. So I don't think that's going to ever fully go away, and I think it's unrealistic, to think, wow, I'm just going to be a robot now. The undulations are less and they are easier to manage. But outside of that, the main difference I'm finding is this, specifically in my mix and the mid-range, I'm finding a lack of stiffness and a lack of thickness in the vocal cords that I was having to work through constantly before. And what that led towards was this feeling of unease, this feeling of uncertainty where I was never sure, is it going to work or isn't it? And because of that uncertainty, it creates tentativeness in the technique. The tentativeness creates more uncertainty because you're always like, ooh, this. And it inhibits you from really generating a lot of momentum and confidence in the technique. What it's doing really is, when you have reflux, the cords are thick some days, thin some days, stiffer some days, more flexible other days, and you're constantly on this seesaw. And it creates this sense of having to adjust the motor skills all the time. You wake up, feels stiff and inflexible. You've got to lean in that direction a lot. So the ups and downs of where you've got to lean in the technique, in terms of those harder days, you have to lean even harder. You have to squeeze even more to get your voice working. It doesn't sound good. It sounds kind of tense. It sounds kind of squeezy, even when it's balanced. And you can't get away from it. It becomes very frustrating. So you have these bigger undulations, these increased kind of inhibition in the technique, this increased tentativeness with the technique, and all of that leads to you feeling like you can't get momentum, you can't generate much confidence. Sometimes you go through a period where you're refluxing less and you generate some confidence, and then it comes down again and you're like, oh, what's going wrong? Oh, it's not working. So it kind of creates an artificial ceiling on the technique. No matter how good the technique is, you're going to feel like you can't get with it. You can't get that groove going where you feel like day after day you're building on something. It always feels like you're being held back. Something is pulling you and you're trying to run, but there's somebody with a rope behind you just holding, and you're having to drag them along with you, or a rock, shall we say. So I found, with that out of the way, I've got more momentum. Well, yesterday when I was rehearsing, my voice wasn't great relative to my new world, shall we say. But it sounds good. And it's the sounding good that matters. When you've got that momentum and you sound good even on the hard days, nothing can really stop you, because you start to not be tentative. You start to trust the technique more. You start to gain more confidence. And all of that feeds into trusting more confidence, and less inhibition. So you get into a much more positive cycle much more easily. And we speak about that a fair amount on this channel, the idea of positive loops and negative loops. This helps you get into a positive loop. And it's helped me generate a lot of confidence in the last few weeks. And it's a great thing. Now, I don't want to get, too big-headed or too overconfident, because that can lead into trouble as well, as I well know. But it's a nice experience. It's something that I'm pleased about, and it's something that is off my back, shall we say. Something that I feel like, okay, this is another element that I can gain some control over. Specifically in the last few days, I felt like that I really got on top of the reflux. And this, I will say that in terms of managing the reflux, for the first 2 or 3 weeks, I was kind of trying to inhibit my burps a lot. Anytime I felt gas, I was like, no, I don't want to burp, I don't want to burp. What I've found is the opposite's kind of true. If you inhibit a burp, And all that happens is 2 minutes later, the burp wants to come again and you inhibit it. And then you get in this loop of, you're trying to suppress the burp over and over again. I kind of found out that that's worse to do than just let out a single burp. And I know this isn't the most pleasant conversation, but you get my drift. If you just let the burp out, what I found is gone. And then your stomach just settles. So I've realized it's okay to burp here and there 2 or 3 times after a meal. It's fine. If you're in a silent reflux journey, if you are in a silent reflux loop, go back and watch my diet and take it seriously. It may be, and for most people I would say, they don't get to where I was at technically before they realize there's a problem. Most people come to reflux earlier on in their journey and it's fixed by the time they get towards a more advanced level. But regardless of where you're at, it's important that you figure out, is this part of my puzzle? If the answer is yes, go back, watch the video and start addressing it. See if your voice improves. See if you start noticing some of the things I've spoke about in this video. See if you start noticing the benefits and realizing, wow, I might be a better singer than I thought I was. Maybe something's holding you back that's not just technique. It's a great thing if you discover this. It's easy to control. It's something for most of us at least, and it's something that will take a weight off your shoulders. It's something you really, okay, I can tick that box and go back to technique, which is absolutely key at the end of the day. Anyway, guys, that is my health update. That is what I've been grooving on, what I've been thinking about, and what I've been experiencing with my technique and my singing in terms of getting this back on track. Hit me up in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Subscribe, thumbs up, all that good stuff. I'll catch you very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.